Welcome to Night Shadows. I'm Stewart Best, where the paranormal is normal, where that which you thought you knew, you didn't, and where the future can be known if you know exactly where to look.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in and listening to this urgent update. There's a lot going on in Israel. As far as I know, Larry is on with us. I wanted to read a scripture to you, though, because Israel and America are like two peas in a pod when it comes to a prophecy, and what happens to Israel happens to the United States. So I just want to read this, because remember, we're coming up on the 14th, or Israel's entering into their 71st year. So now we don't exactly know what date or what calendar the Lord's using, but anyway. And it shall come to pass, it's Jeremiah 25:12 and 13. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and I will make it a perpetual desolations. And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. And of course you go to Jeremiah 50:51 and you can see all about America. Jeremiah 29, for thus saith the Lord, after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word towards you, speaking about Israel, and cause you to return to this place. Now, this is a double reference, obviously, but I just wanted to get that out there. Hi, Larry. What's new over there in Israel? This sounds very bad.
Yeah, my phone's been going off like a Christmas tree since early this morning and all day, all through Saturday. And, of course, they're reporting now that it's after midnight in Israel, and the rocket attacks continue. The last count was like 300 plus. It has been nonstop all day long, major rocket attacks out of Gaza into Israel. And at the same time, Israel is very worried because Hezbollah now is threatening to unleash 200,000 missiles against Israel just as soon as Israel begins to fight back against the rocket attacks from Hamas and the Jihad.
Well, this is one of the things that I know they were very worried about, and of course some of the towns that are named are in the scriptures as being destroyed. So I can understand Israel's concern about all this. So what is the latest that I got from Al Turner's site, and you maybe have more on that Israeli army tanks were moving into attack positions on the Gaza Strip? Is there any more news on that? And that they have opened fire?
Yeah, the tanks have opened fire, plus the latest information coming out of two different sources is that that Israel is evacuating Israelis on the southern region near the Gaza border, and they're waiting to retaliate against Gaza until they get all these Israelis out of the way, because they're claiming it's going to be a massive attack when they hit Gaza.
Well, here's 1:15 Eastern Daylight Time here from Hal Turner's. Prime Minister Netanyahu has ordered the Israeli military to strike hard at Gaza in the upcoming hours. IDF are briefing that there will be at least 3 days of IDF attacks, actions against Gaza. Civilian evacuation of border areas underway ahead of massive IDF response. What started all this? Do you know? Have they said anything?
Well, the information has been coming in since May 1st, and this, of course, is May the 4th. Since May 1st, though, remember, Iran has been nudging Hamas and Hezbollah towards missile attacks against Israel because they feel that these sanctions now begun by Washington is going to back quickly, and they really want to. It's almost like they want a Daniel 8, if you will, but they want the proxies to attack first.
So, do you suppose that when they see that Israel's being taken out, they're going to say now's the time to do it? And they all join in on this violence and try to get rid of Israel? I mean, if they're going to, they can't keep doing this. Let me word it that way. Because sooner or later, Israel is going to respond, and they're going to be just simply taken out. Who was it that had that prophecy about Palestinians being all but annihilated?
Oh,
do you remember that one?
Yeah, that was Henry Gruver, remember?
That's right. And then they went to Geneva to have a world conference, as I understood the vision, and the United States sided with the world, and that was determination for the United States. So this could escalate rapidly, folks. You heard me read from you, Jeremiah 25. That's a direct reference to the United States of America now. And if you read Book of Revelation, same thing. So we're being primed up here for Daniel 8 or Isaiah 17, and soon after probably Ezekiel 38, 39. After 70 years. Now, there were those people who were saying that the 70 years of Israel on the Lord's calendar is already over. If that's true, then this may be the one that goes, I guess, what could you say, Larry? Everything just gets triggered. Wars everywhere. Everybody takes advantage of it and all the chaos, and away we go.
Well, what's interesting, too, is the fact that since May the 1st, Iran has been moving forces and missiles towards the Strait of Hormuz, which may be linked up into this. They may be trying, Stewart, this is just my opinion only, they may be trying Hamas and Hezbollah to get Israel so busy defending itself that when they try to close the Strait of Hormuz, all they got to deal with is U.S. forces. And, of course, we know that two aircraft carrier groups, which is really big, that's a big deal,
it's big.
are right there in the Mediterranean waiting on this. I think Trump already knows this is where this is leaning, but the really interesting wild card is that when Hamas started firing the original rockets, 28 hours ago or whenever, ironically, North Korea started firing short-range missiles.
Yeah, that makes me, I would take that as a warning from the Lord, actually, that this is all going to escalate rapidly. Because remember the prophecies that the rabbi had about North Korea visiting Israel. And so maybe that was a symbolic gesture on the part of Kimmy the Whiz Kid that his subs, we don't know where they are, may fire on Israel. And the rabbi did say that it was Israel that was going to be visited by North Korea, and of course everybody laughed at him. But this could rapidly come to fruition. We don't really know what they have as far as nuclear subs, and they could snuggle up right next to Israel and launch a few surprise missiles. And any more news on the Venezuelan and the carriers that are going down there at all? Well,
it's we're not getting much out of the where the carriers are. They seem to be moving in dark right now. nobody seems to know their exact location. But Hal Turner posted a headline this morning, said urgent. Said White House has now received official Pentagon briefing this morning, Saturday, on all military options against Maduro, Venezuela. Says U.S. Southern Command stands with Venezuelan people prepared to support all options. So whatever you interpret that to mean.
Wow. Well, folks, this is a very short update. We wanted to just give you a heads up that this is going on. Remember what I read to you about Jeremiah, and this is a prophecy that came in, and I read it on the show, I think it was the other day. I will make an example of my nation, America. All the nations will mourn as her beauty goes up as a wisp of smoke, never to be seen again. Men shall remember and lament her beauty and wealth, and those who are wise will learn and fear my mighty power because of this great destruction. This is very, very interesting because of what I just read to you and the prophecies of the 70th year. So here we are. What are we? Today is the 4th. It's 10 days away. And Israel as a nation will have celebrated her physical end of the 70th year, and the 15th will move her into the 71st after the 70th year. However, if they're using another calendar, I think Israel already is in the 71st year, maybe a month ago or so. So I guess all we can do, folks, is watch and pray for the peace of Jerusalem and that cool heads prevail. But if you haven't done anything to get ready, you better. And before we leave, Larry sent me, I believe this, active sunspots return. This weekend, old sunspot AR2738 is returning from a 2-trip around the far side of the sun, has already produced 2 CMEs, signaling it may be even more active than before. Now, we've had a lot of problems with the sun and sun disease, so it's just another heads up. Anything else you got, Larry?
Yeah, just as we're going to sign off here shortly, there's been a new Hal Turner alert. It says that Israel is under attack, says that Hamas has now announced it will target key Israeli installations, Dimona, Haifa Port, and Ben Gurion Airport, and that's very serious, Stewart. Matter of fact, I heard earlier that the Israeli generals were telling Netanyahu, if we're going to go to war, we need to go now. So that's where we are.
Yeah, and I think the same thing is going to be true to Venezuela. But I think we maybe waited a little too long on Venezuela. Now we're going to be confronted with Cuban troops, Chinese troops, Russian military, Chinese military weapons, missiles. And remember, folks, the Lord is not with us anymore. And this is very serious. And this could escalate into a world war very, very rapidly. And any other update or whatever you want to say to the troops out there?
Well, I just kind of try to follow this. I've noted One American News seems to be carrying updates on Israel and the Middle East, but include Fox and all the others, mainstream is simply ignoring so there's very little data we're gleaning out of the Middle East right now. People need to be aware.
Yeah, this could explode instantly. If Israel does what they claim they're going to do, and I agree with their generals, totally. They've put up with this stuff now forever, and we would not put up with it under somebody like Donald Trump. So it all depends on Netanyahu. Anyway, thanks a lot, Larry, for coming on. And if this does explode, folks, we'll certainly do either a live or we'll do a scheduled update. Thanks for listening, and take care of yourselves. Heads up, your redemption does draw nigh. Good night, everyone.